Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for How I Shot It Today. Today we got Matt Gruber. Hey everyone, thanks again for joining us. Matt, thank you so much for joining us here on the call today. We appreciate having you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Matt, real quick, tell everyone, I mean, we all see in the community, you're rocking it all the time, sharing tons of images. This is in the MagMod community on Facebook. So I was excited to get you on here so people can get to know you a little bit better. But tell us about you. I mean, where do we find you? Where are you based out of? Where's your website? All that good information.
Yeah, I'm based out of Philly. There's a lot of people here. They're all talented. It's awesome and horrible at the same time. But yeah, you can find me at MagGruberPhoto.com, MagGruberPhoto on Instagram. That's pretty much the only two places that I really post. Facebook is horrible nowadays.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a little bit harder to get some exposure on there. But as you're talking here, we're going to throw up your little Instagram tag so people can find you.
Cool.
So Matt Gruber Photo. I love how you mentioned in Philadelphia, there's a lot of people out there. It seems like MagMod is strong out that way. Got a lot of talented photographers using it.
It definitely is.
That's awesome. Well, I'm telling you, man, the reason I got you on here is because you're extremely talented as well, and I love seeing your work. It definitely resonates with people in the community. People are always liking your photos. I think you're one of the most liked photographers in our MagMod community. So thanks for taking the time and being with us. So. Guys, if you're not familiar, if this is the first time you're watching How I Shot It, the way we run these is typically they're about 15-minute long interviews, and we got Matt on here, and he's going to just kind of inspire us and show us some rad photos and tell us a little bit about how he created them and kind of what was going through his mind when he was doing it. So with that, Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you introduce the first shot.
All right. So just, with a lot of my work, I really try to, balance the ambient and the flash and just try to make it look natural for the most part, most of the time.
Yeah, less flashy,
sometimes,
I guess you could say.
Right. Sometimes it's unavoidable, or you're doing like a night shot and it's going to look more flashy. But anyway, so this first shot, it's a place called Longwood Gardens outside of Philly, and it's very popular. Lots of greenery and just this huge garden area.
Yeah,
and I really just wanted to expose, for the foreground and kind of frame the couple in this doorway. But it was so dark in there, behind them, that I really just needed like a little bit of light to kind of highlight them and make it balance well with the foreground. So that's what I did. There's just a MagSphere, maybe with like a quarter CTO gel just to warm them up a little bit. Yeah, kind of behind the wall on the left side of the frame. Super simple, turned out really well. I love it. They loved it.
Yeah. I think some of the things that are important to note here, Matt, is where they're located is, if you would have shot that just regular ambient light, no flash, they would have been dark, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're in that kind of dark hallway back there. And had you just decided to expose for them and not used a flash, then they would have been exposed properly, but the foreground would have been super light because it's getting lit by, is it windows, or is that out? Were you shooting from outdoors, or?
This is all indoors. Okay. So the foreground is lit with, track lighting or something, however, whatever that stuff is. Gotcha. So that was exposed properly and looked beautiful, but like you said, the couple would have been very dark and underexposed had I, just shot at natural light. So.
Yeah. So Matt, on things like this, because I know this is a question that typically comes up a lot. Are you using ETTL, or are you using, choosing a manual flash setting, or using like a low flash power? Like, what is there? Not, I mean, unfortunately, our cameras don't record what our flash power is, so we don't really know that necessarily. But when you're going into a shot like this, what was the best advice you could give somebody as far as their flash power goes?
I always shoot manual just because it's easier and it's going to be more consistent if I'm doing multiple shots in a row. Yeah. For this, I'm guessing it was probably like 1/64th power. It was indoors and it wasn't entirely bright. Yeah. So I really didn't need a lot of flash power to kind of light them up. Yeah. And I always just start, if it's indoors, I start at like 1/64th and kind of go from there. If I'm outdoors and it's sunny, I'll start at like 1/16th and go from there. And, the more that you do it, the better you get of just kind of guesstimating what you should start at.
Absolutely. And I think that's the important thing is to remember. I feel like a lot of photographers, when they're struggling shooting with manual flash power, it's typically because they start way too high. And so you start lower and then kind of work your way up. Low flash power, like you said, 1/64. I've even sometimes shot at 1/128 just to get like a little touch of light. You know, so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yep.
What's another image there that we can pull up?
So this one's a night shot. Kind of, you know, contradicts everything I just said about making it look not flashy. But
no, I think it shows that you have range. That's what it does.
Yeah, so this venue is really cool because they have all the columns uplit, you know, by the venue in different colors. So it rotates. It goes from like red to purple to blue, maybe even green, every few minutes. And the couple really wanted to get a shot outside. And, you know, so I did the typical stuff. And then I really wanted to do something different. I was kind of just standing there and I saw the columns at a certain angle. And I was thinking, all right, well, if I have the couple kind of hidden in between the columns and the shadows, and then just use a little bit of light, you know, to highlight them, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So I just used a grid. It may have even been 2 grids. I don't remember because this shot was like 2 years ago. But yeah, so I just used a grid or 2 to light them without having to spill all over the columns. Because if I used like a sphere or a bare flash or a softbox, you know, it would have taken away a lot of that, you know, the red uplighting, and just kind of looked, ugh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the grid basically helped you focus that light because, like you said, without it, it would have hit the column, and instead of a red, you would have got whatever paint color the column is, right?
Right.
So,
we were talking about flash power, you know, a minute ago. This was definitely most likely like 1/28 power, and I probably even had to like move the flash further back just because it's so dark that just the littlest bit of light is going to light them up.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's a great shot. I think it's one of the best shots we feature that really show that control of light, like being able to have like a very, very narrow beam of light, basically lighting them up using those grids. And like you said, without it, then you basically cancel out that ambient uplight, and you lose kind of the whole effect of the photograph. So.
Right.
Awesome example. Matt, there was Marlise last week. She shared an image where she talked about using a MagSphere and a full CTO, kind of creating a sun behind the couple. And I know that's something I've seen you post some incredible shots in the community, kind of doing that same effect. Would you mind sharing a couple of those shots as well with us?
Yeah, for sure. Let me see.
And maybe you can tell us how you did yours.
Yeah. So this first shot, you know, it was still fairly bright out, but there was no sun. It was just overcast. You know, and a lot of times couples go into these sessions like they want sunset, they want golden hour, even though if they don't know that's what it's called, but like that's the look that they're going for. That's what they've always seen.
It's super romantic.
You know, so I try to give them a little bit of that if I can. So anyway, what I do is I put, you know, full CTO gel, MagSphere, have it as high and as far back as I can get it. Maybe not as far back, but usually like 20 feet behind the couple, off to one side a little bit, and then really high up because you just want it to mimic the sun. You know, so the sun's usually coming from above them, and it's coming from far away, obviously.
Yeah.
And the further away that you have it, the more spread that you're going to get. So you're going to get like, you know, the bokeh in the background is going to be, you know, orange or golden, you know, some like the branches of trees or whatever you have behind them.
Yeah.
And when I like to do this, you know, I start at like 1/16 power and kind of go from there depending on the ambient light. You know, I'll make it more powerful, less powerful. But I also think zooming in, you know, getting it a tighter crop helps, because if I shot this with like a 35 and I was standing further back, it would look ridiculous because the couple would be really warm and backlit, but everything else would look cool and, you know, just overcast. So
that's a good tip. So what kind of lens do you typically like to choose for something like this? Do you have a go-to?
Yeah, so I usually use like a 70 to 200, zoomed in at 200 just to, you know, get a nice tight composition.
Yeah, so. No, that's a great tip. And now you have another shot that's similar as well. I think one of the things that is really interesting about your shots is how lit up the people are in front as well. Are you using a flash in front, or is that just natural ambient light there?
Right. So for this first shot, it's just natural ambient light. I actually just posted this photo, a couple days ago in the community, and people were asking about that, and they were wondering, and I said, hey, like, it's just all natural light I expose for, their faces first, and then add in the flash, to whatever desired effect. But exposing for their faces definitely helps. I've got this other one that's the same sort of thing. This I actually used a softbox in the front, but behind them for the sun effect was the same thing. MagSphere, full CTO gel. This was actually taken when it was like pitch black out, so there was no real ambient light, which was a little tough getting focus. But other than that, so like everything you see is just all complete fake flash.
That's awesome though, because I mean that's what's fun for people to see is like you're creating a look even though it doesn't. Here's what's fun about this: you create this and then you turn your camera around, and you show the couples, and they're like, "What?"
Right.
Like, I mean, they just think you're a magician at that point, telling all their friends about you. So that's rad. Love it. Thanks so much for sharing those.
Yeah. The one last thing that I would say about that.
Yeah.
When people go to try this is just try different angles, because you're going to have to find the right angle of where the light hits them, that it looks natural and you're getting like the right flare. Other times if you're too close or shooting up at the wrong angle, it's just going to look horrible. So just experiment.
Yeah, no, that's a great tip. That's a great tip, kind of moving around a lot and kind of moving that flash around. Great tip. Love it. Awesome. I think we probably got time for about maybe one more image. Do you have another shot there that you could share with us?
Yes, so I have one more. Bridal parties are not my specialty at all. Like I want to get them done and out of the way as quick as possible.
You're not alone, my friend.
Yeah. Can we do some fun shots with the bridal party? And I'm like, no, go away.
I typically say, yeah, go ahead. I'll photograph it. Give me something fun.
Yeah, right. So this shot, we were literally like stuck in the ballroom for hours because it's at a place that has like multiple weddings going on at the same time. So we weren't allowed to leave, and also it was pouring rain all day, so we had to do all the photos inside. So anyway, I was trying to think of something cool to do, and the good thing about having these like wedding factories is they are pristine. So the dance floor was like ridiculously shiny and reflective. So I noticed that. Anyway, so I used a MagSphere on either side, pointing in towards the bridal party, to light them up, and that's it. I mean, super simple. You don't need to do anything extravagant. I toyed with the idea of like doing a composite, but it's so much work. Yes, so I just threw a MagSphere on either side. The one kind of got half the people, the other got the other half of the people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think what's great about it is the MagSphere is going to provide that kind of transition on the edges, so you don't get this hard fall off of the flash. You kind of it's not that the MagSphere really makes our light too much bigger, but it creates that kind of soft transition. And by combining two on either side, you get this nice transition right in the middle as well. It's a great shot, and I love how you decided to get low as well. I mean, you must have been pretty much laying on the dance floor, right?
Yeah, I probably just put my camera down, shot in live view.
Yeah, I love it.
Or I could have laid down, I don't know. I don't remember what I did this morning, let alone weeks ago.
No, it's fantastic though. And then the other thing is that there again, you got that nice balance of flash and ambient. I mean, even indoors, you're able to get this nice balance where it doesn't look flashy. I mean, it looks like it almost looks like they got hit with a spotlight or a bright ambient light. I don't know. It works really well. There's a great balance there. So.
Yeah. As long as you expose for your ambient light, you'll be good.
Yeah. Awesome. Matt, you're amazing, dude. Keep posting those incredible shots. Like I said, guys, if you haven't done this yet, you can go in the Facebook community and just type in somebody's name. So just put it in the little search bar, put in quotations, Matt Gruber. You can pull up a ton of his photographs. You can see all of his incredible work. And then, of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments below. Matt, you're pretty good about being able to answer someone's question, right?
Yeah, sure.
You're like throw me a 20, you know.
Yeah.
No, hey, yeah, guys, feel free to comment below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to join us in our MagMod community, and of course, subscribe so you guys can check these out. Each and every week, we're posting them on Monday around 1:30 in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time. So, Matt, thank you so much. You absolutely rocked it. You're incredible. Your work is incredible. Totally inspiring, and there's little tips and tidbits that we're able to pick up today that we can apply to our own work. So thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. The check's in the mail.
Yeah, I'm supposed to say that. My check's in. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thank you again for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.